for my programming students, they're working on a research paper. And what I'm doing is I'm explaining how they can use Microsoft Word to gather notes, to build out citations, and create a bibliography. So we're going to let the Microsoft Word help us out here. And their assignment here is to improve their paper by making sure they define their terms, they pick information. And so I want them to gather citations that come from a variety of sources. I'm going to show in this video the ways that you can use research, such as paraphrasing versus direct word-for-word quotations, and then going ahead and creating bibliography and parenthetical citations. In our case, we're going to use MLA, but I'll show you how Word can manage that depending on which one you use. So that's kind of the assignment that students are working on. And here's a partially completed one that I did. Now, this is not going to be the format of the final draft of the paper. This is just a way of gathering my terms and definitions. I'm formatting it for this assignment. And really, what you choose for your format, as long as it's a meaningful one, where it's clear what the term is, and it has clearly formatted quotes, paraphrases, citations, and at the end of bibliography, we're good. So I'll show you how to do that right now. What I chose to do is make each term be a header. And I used heading 2 here, but really that's not necessary. You could make it normal and bold. However you want to do that, that's your choice. Just be consistent in how you're doing it. So what I did is I grabbed some quotations, and I will add a few more. First one is a quote. You will note because it has a quotation mark, ends with a quotation mark. This is word for word, directly taken from the source and done through copy and paste. Then we have a parenthetical over here. You can tell that Microsoft Word had something to do with this because when I click it, we get this weird kind of formatting guideline here. Now, to get citations and eventually to build the bibliography, I went to references. That's this up here. On the references, you can do footnotes or inline citations. That's what we're going to use. So it's up to your teacher and your class as to how you're supposed to do that. And you will note under style, we can choose what formatting style we're going to do. In our case, we're going to use the most recent one of MLA according to this version of Word, which is MLA 7th edition. My particular project I'm working on is I am learning some concepts related to Visual C# and Windows Form projects. So one term is about a class which is built into Microsoft, which is called the image map class. Then I found an article that talks about how to get the image map control to work. And then I realized, as I was doing that I probably should explain what a Windows form control is as well. So I'm picking terms that are going to be helpful for the user to understand if they were to read on this. So I'm picking ones that are directly tied into the project I'm working on, and this is going to tie into the paper that I've assigned. First example is a direct quotation. This is an example of a paraphrase. Okay. On the paraphrase, let me show you the site where I got it from. I copied the source right here, so let me just take you to that page just to show you the sample of what I did. Okay, so I just want to emphasize what a paraphrase is. First of all, to paraphrase is making sure you are giving credit where credit is due, but you're putting it into your own language. In here, I have an article on C# Windows Form Image Map Control. I decided that if I'm going to define what an image map class is, I should probably also explain how it works. So I took a tutorial that explains it and shows it. Here it is, how it works. And I took the content from here and I paraphrased it down here. Okay. So I paraphrased part of one paragraph into one sentence, and you can see that I probably left some of the information out, but I focused on the primary stuff. Then I inserted a quote right in the middle, and that is right here. All I did was copy that text right here. I copied it, I went in here, and I'll show you how I paste it in. I pasted it in a way that would preserve the formatting. The way I did that is I put my cursor where I wanted it. The Home tab has the primary editing. You will see it says paste right here. I clicked this and I inserted A, which all it does is paste the text only, and it doesn't do any other formatting. So when I click it, I have the same font and the same font size, and it works seamlessly in. Okay, as opposed to just pasting, which would look like this. Notice font's larger here, and I've got some color, I got a little color here. And so I didn't want to make it a larger font size, and it's a different font as well. So to keep the formatting consistent, I clicked paste, and I chose text only. And this is going to be really important because as you are going to different sources, copy and paste is going to be taking different fonts, different font sizes, different colors, even background colors. So you want to be careful that since you're going to be going from a variety of sources, you're pasting them all in a way that is consistent. Of course, the other thing you could do is get Notepad open and paste into Notepad. It removes all formatting that way too. Okay, and so the rest of this is also a paraphrase. So I just put it into my own words what this was doing. So because it's not all a direct quotation, let's go back up here. Because it's not all a direct quotation, this is called a paraphrase. I put it into my own words. Did I know what that was on my own? No. I had to actually go research it. I researched it, I put it into my words. Now that will go into the paper. I just got to find where's the right location and maybe some other text that I can write around it to explain. In fact, if you look here, all three of these terms all sort of go hand in hand together. So as you're building out your information, it's a good idea to maybe look at an outline that you've created for your paper, figure out what you're putting into the outline, and figure out what information you don't know that you have to research, and focus on that area. And then, whenever possible, you might know what a Windows form control is, but you might not be able to explain it in words. So for that, it's a great idea to have direct quotations. So that's what I put on here. So I just got a direct quotation. There's a certain art to searching correctly. So let's say I'm going to define the word control. And I just go to Google, I just put control in there. Well, control is to, right on here, to exercise restraint or direction over, dominate, command, hold in check, okay, test or verify, because there's all these different definitions. And if I were just lazy and I just went into Google and just like, well, I'm going to define my term, so I'm going to put control and I'm going to Google it. I'm just going to go to the first thing I see, copy and paste it in. Well, that's not going to be relevant to the actual paper. It's going to do you no good. Okay? So you got to be very specific. Okay? In fact, none of these do a good job of it. So, are you doing your project as a Java project? Are you talking about the language of C#? Are you using Unity as a development environment? Are you doing an Android app? What are you doing? Put that in front. So instead of control, I put C# Windows form control. Now I have control class, Windows form controls, control class, Windows forms, all kinds of information that I can use now, and all of these are relevant to my topic because I added C# and a little bit more information. So if I do say C# and I put data serialization, which honestly, at the time I first did data serialization, I didn't even know that was a term, and that was something I could use. So one of the things you may want to do is, as you're researching, let your research guide you into new areas. So let me recap. Basically, now that you kind of get an idea of how to format, how to put in direct quotations versus paraphrases, I'm getting kind of low on time because I think I want to devote a lot of time to explaining how to edit citations and let Microsoft do that. So in the next part of the tutorial, we will focus on Microsoft reference tools and actually taking a quote, and a source and getting it properly cited and letting Microsoft do that for you. So stay tuned for that video.